Thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I'm happy to be back in the UK. I was last here probably sometime around 2000 or 2001 as an amateur. The US came here to duel England, and it's a great country. It's a beautiful country. I get a lot of my fan mail from the UK, so I know everybody here is not against me, but it's greatly appreciated, and it's like I said, it's a beautiful, beautiful country. Pertaining to the fight, this is what we dream for. Fighting in big fights, mega fights, for all the marbles. And as you guys see here, everything that's on the line, including our reputations. It's even more satisfying for me personally because I came into this tournament, nobody gave me a shot to even get close to the finals, much less win. Everybody had their question marks, and to be honest with you, I still have the chip on my shoulder because regardless of what the rankings say, regardless of what people touting me as a favorite, there's still doubters, and I still have my back against the wall with much to prove. And this fight is no different. It's not personal with Carl Froch. He just has something I want, and me and my team, we're preparing for October 29th to be our night. Thank you, UK, for having us.
Thank you, Andre. And now throw over to our main man, Britain's #1 fighter, current WBC super middleweight champion, someone who you know what will always deliver for the fans, Carl Froch.
Thank you very much. Thanks for turning up. It's a great turnout. Eddie's done a fantastic job, and the weather's held up for us, which is brilliant. It's perfect. It's going to be a nice scene here in Britain. It's been a fantastic tournament put together by Ken Hirschman at Showtime. So I'd like to send personal thanks to Ken. The tournament it's been a 2-year process. People say it's been too long, it's been too drawn out, but there's been some fantastic fights between some top fighters. Fights that would not have happened without this tournament. So regardless of how I look at him, the ups and downs and the people pulling out and injuries, the fact of the matter is the 2 best fighters that entered the tournament are now meeting in the final. The WBC title, WBA title and the Super 6 trophy. It couldn't be any bigger and any better. This is what top sport's all about. The best in the division fighting each other and meeting each other, and that's what it's achieved this tournament. And it's my pleasure and honour to be in the final, and it's also a pleasure to be in with somebody like Andre Ward, who's an Olympic gold medalist. He's undefeated as a professional, WBA champion. This guy's got to be taken very, very seriously. He knows how to fight, he knows what he's doing, and he's got his plans. And I've got my plans. My plans are to take all these trophies, these belts, and keep them in Britain for a very long time. And that's going to be that's my main goal and my main mindset for the next 9 weeks, 10 weeks. Just putting in the hard work and the graft that I'm sure Ward will be putting in for the ultimate goal to be the unified champion. There's another title out there that I've got my eyes on as well, that's not involved in this tournament. But what is involved are 2 of the best belts in world boxing. And at the minute, I think the super middleweight division is the best division in world boxing as well. With some of the top fighters. And like I say, it's just a pleasure to be involved in this. Big thanks to Eddie again because he's done a fantastic job today, and he's come on board with me late on in my career, and I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders, and everything's done, and I can have a 5-minute conversation with Eddie, and I just know things are in order and things are sorted, and I know where I need to be, when I've got to be there, and the pressure that he's taken off me is fantastic. And all I have to do is concentrate and get myself in super fit shape, and turn up to the fight on fight night and do the business, which is what's the most important thing for me. The only thing I should really be concentrating on, and Eddie's given me the ability to do that. So thanks a lot for that, Eddie. I think we're going to open the floor to questions, but we both know why we're here. Ward knows why he's here. Well, he thinks he does anyway. I know why I'm here, and I'm here to win this title, the WBA title, retain my WBC, and win the Super 6 World Boxing Classic Tournament. Thank you very much.
Delighted to welcome Dan Goose.
Thank you very much, Eddie, Ken. I'm going to address 3 things right here. One is ticket sales. I know Eddie and Barry have already discussed about bringing a major contingent from the UK. We've got a great one coming from the US also. We go on sale officially on Friday of this week, and already the box office manager with advanced pre-sales and just the communication he's gotten from emails and requests for tickets says it hasn't been this hot of a ticket since Arturo Gatti was fighting at the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. So it goes to show you how big this fight is, because Arturo Gatti, as you all know, packed them in, fight in and fight out in Atlantic City. So we've got the makings of a sellout here on October 29th. Second thing I want to address is the Super 6 Cup. And Carl, Ken, Eddie, and even Andre. Anybody calls it a trophy anymore, they got to put in $100 into the cup. And at the end of this promotion, and the end of the fight, the one that hasn't said it's a trophy gets the cup. It's the cup, okay, the Super 6 Cup. And the reason why I bring this up, Eddie touched on it a second ago. It is one of the most innovative things we've had in boxing. And I think the telltale sign, what I was talking about, number one, with the ticket sales, is that this Super 6 Cup has really put the focus on the boxers and the event. 2 years in the making, and we all know the obstacles that came out, but as Carl and Andre have both said, the two right guys are here. One from Europe, one from America, and that's the way it was split up down the middle when we first started this tournament. The last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to hand it back to Eddie, is we've got two fighters in there. One of the things that I can't stand, and Carl's a good showcase for this, is that we see too many fighters out there yakking their lips, and then when that bell rings, they don't stand behind it. Carl goes out there and fights. Andre's not as much of a talker, but he'll do he'll have something to say, but we all know that Andre's going to do the same thing. He goes out there and he fights. So what boxing has, October 29th, are two real fighters, and this is what makes our sport so great, and where it's going to propel it to much bigger heights than we've seen the last few years. I congratulate both of you fighters. Again, Barry, thank you for everything. Media, I'm glad that we came out here and you welcomed us. Thank you very much. Eddie?
Thanks, Dan. Okay, we're going to go to the floor now for questions. Anthony's got the mic. Please raise your hands for questions.
First question to Andre. If you could talk us through your journey to the final and also give us your assessment of what you've seen in Carl's performances.
Well, my journey from day one has always been a mission. Not many people believed in my, me and my team, but we always knew what was there. We're not shocked to be where we're at right now, and we're not just happy to be here. We've always set out from day one, when I first met everybody in Germany, that this was my goal. I understood that I had a lot of work cut out for me, but I expected to be in the finals, and I expected to hoist that trophy over my head. And that's not being cocky at all. That's just the way, that was my inner belief. So we just took it one fight at a time. And slowly but surely, people became believers. There's still a lot of doubters out there, but our mindset has always been to be where we are right now. In terms of what Carl Froch has done, he's done what he had to do. And I think that's the best way I can put it. I don't think either one of us is in the category of greatness yet. Even after winning this, there's still a whole lot of work to be done before we both can be called great. That term is thrown around very loosely these days. But whenever I'm called a great fighter, and I appreciate your comments earlier, saying that we both were great fighters, but I want to earn it. And these are the kind of fights you have to fight and win to get that tag.
And for you, Carl, as well, your journey to the final and what your thoughts are on Andre Ward's performances.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic journey, as I've said earlier. There's been emotion, there's been ups and downs, but the right two guys are in the final. And I'm going to turn up and do what I need to do to raise that trophy above my head on the 29th of October. I can't actually remember what your question was, to be honest. I'll keep talking if you want me to. Andre's journey, yeah, he's had a tough task, but I don't think fought as many tough people. He was talking about not wanting to be called a great. Maybe that's because of the people he's fought and the level he's boxed at. He's obviously boxed at a good level, but there's only one name that jumps out on my record, on his record for me, and that's Mikhail Kessler. I wasn't impressed with that performance. I didn't enjoy the fight. I thought it was unfortunate for Kessler, to be fighting Ward away from home and getting a couple of cuts from a couple of naughty headbutts early on. It really does impair the vision, and it makes for a tough night's work for anybody, especially someone who's not been in the ring for a long time. Now myself, without being cocky, I do feel I need the greatness tag above my head. Look at the fights I've been involved in. Look at the run of the last 5-6 fights consecutively, defending my title, winning my title back, defending it again. Everybody's raving on about it. It's never been done. It probably won't be done for many, many years. So I only believe I'm a true great, and I feel now that I'm getting the respect and the credit that I do deserve. And I'd like to thank everybody for that. A lot of that's down to Matchroom, Eddie and Barry Hill. But 95% of it's down to the way in which I perform, the way in which I conduct myself in the ring. I do the business, and when I'm asked to fight, I fight. I just don't Andre Ward does the same on the night, and the fans and the television audiences will be in for a real treat.
Carl, you're live on Sky Sports News. You've been saying today that Andre can't punch, but yet he beat Kessler, something you couldn't do. How do you explain that?
Well, you've just contradicted yourself, because you said he can't punch and he beat Kessler, but he beat Kessler on points, and that explains what went off in that fight. So, for me to say that he's not a big puncher, it's not saying he can't punch. He can obviously punch. He's a boxer, that's what he does for a living, he throws punches. But the definition of can't punch in boxing terms is he's not a big puncher. If you look at his record, he's probably got 50% knockout ratio, as opposed to mine, which is in its 80s. So that's what I mean by that, just in case you was confused there.
Carl, does anything worry you about Andre's fighting style?
I've mentioned his roughness. He's quite rough and tough up close. He likes to use his head, and he's been able to get away with it previously, which is a shame really. It's the judging, it's the officiating of the fight that needs to sort that out from the start. And I'm sure the New Jersey State Commission, they was on it in the last fight. They're very good at what they do. So as long as this is a clean, fair fight, there shouldn't be anything for me to worry about.
What about his speed?
Yeah, he's got some speed, but I don't think, and I think you probably agree, he's no faster than Andre Durrell, and I cope with him quite easily, to be honest.
Let me make 2 points. One point is about punching power, and he's talking about knockout ratio and different things like that. But you don't know what kind of puncher you are unless you're knocking out the best. The guys coming up don't count. Even the faded contenders that we fight, as we're getting close to a title shot, it doesn't count. If you're not knocking out the best, if you're not knocking out the best like a Tommy Hearns, you can't be called a knockout artist. So when you really look at the facts, the last person that Froch stopped was Jermaine Taylor, who I respect highly, but has already had some problems prior to their fight. Same thing with Arthur Abraham. Everybody's talking about how big of a puncher, but in this tournament, nobody's had any knockouts except Arthur Abraham. And like we've been saying, this tournament has been going on for 2 years. So you really don't know what kind of puncher you are until you knock the best out. And in terms of the dirty tactics and different things like that, hey, we're going to let the ref do what he does, but nobody said anything when Carl Froch threw Durrell down and used dirty tactics against him. Everybody praised Carl Froch and said he's using roughhouse tactics, and that's what he needs to do because Durrell is holding. So, again, it's a contradiction. But I understand the game of boxing. I've been in this game for over 15 years, and I understand that his job is to minimize me in his mind, lowball my performances, but that's okay because we have a date, October 29th, and that's what counts.
All right, guys, thanks very much. We're going to break for one-on-ones now.